chops on you. Tram, we just putting dollars on your head. Gave his mama to the feds. Little brother, big brother, solid got. With the mask in play, it hardly matters anymore.
insane details in some of its biggest.
Nice.
And for fans of Shohei Ohtani, you might not have known he was referencing a meme in his back bling. While this might look like a random baseball screaming, it's actually a nod to the "let's freaking go" emoji that was originally a baseball before people painted it yellow. Not only that, but Shohei's emote lets you see his dog Decoy Ohtani. He's a super famous celebrity pet who constantly shows up during his games, and in fact, Decoy even has an honorary visa in Tokyo. On one of the back blings, you even get a bobblehead of Decoy, and turns out this is based on a true story. The LA Dodgers once gave away bobbleheads of Shohei and his dog as real-life merch. And with the Adventure Time collab, we got to play video games in this BMO emote. If you look closely, it's not some generic game. Epic actually designed a 2D version of Fortnite where you can spot Jonesy running around. But on the LEGO version of this emote, they swapped it from playing VR to chopping down trees in LEGO Fortnite instead. It's crazy. Did you know that one of the most famous painters alive is hiding in Fortnite? Well, it's an exclusive part of Juice WRLD's crossover. Takashi Murakami was friends with Juice, and they were even planning on making an anime together before he died. So in 2024, Epic invited Murakami to paint this loading screen tribute. You could only earn it during the remix finale, and it was given free to anyone who viewed the concert, never to return again. Cowboy Bebop was an incredible surprise when it dropped, and fans are freaking out over its insane attention to detail, like a hidden character that nobody noticed. In Faye's back bling, it looks like a regular phone from the show, until you look closer and notice Ed is on the other line. Personally, I love the jukebox emote where you can straight up relax and listen to the Cowboy Bebop opening. Now, I think Lamborghinis are like 100 times more famous than Cowboy Bebop, and yet there's a secret detail on their collab that nobody knows about. You won't even find this in game. You have to dig into the files of the Lamborghini Countach. Here, you'll discover a codenamed Track Tractor, which sounds kind of random, except the most diehard Lambo fans will know it's a reference. Lamborghini actually began as a tractor building company and moved into sports cars 15 years later. In fact, they still make tractors to this day. But there's a surprisingly controversial detail in Cyberpunk 2077's collab. Johnny Silverhand has a pretty interesting back bling to say the least. In his duffel bag, you can see a nuclear bomb. Spoiler alert, it turns out this is what Johnny detonates before dying in Cyberpunk, wiping out tens of thousands of innocent people. That makes this the darkest back bling in Fortnite. On a more lighthearted note, we have Clix, who not only brought himself to the game, but an original outfit named Sparks. Of course, she's inspired by his main Spark plug, but when you watch the trailer, she is played by Clix's real-life girlfriend.
Where am I?
You'll be fine. I had to get you out of there. Look at you. I don't want you to be stuck in business forever.
Let's take it back to Chapter 5, where I don't think anyone expected to wake up and find Yoda in the game, and yet it happened. But the best part was his details. Equipping the harness edit style on Dagobah Luke would actually let you carry Yoda on your back just like the films. This entire version was designed to work with the back bling. And if you use this cane as a pickaxe, you take it straight from Yoda's grimy little hands. But my personal favorite is whenever you got an elimination, he would giggle. You gotta appreciate details like these, especially with Sabrina Carpenter coming to the game. She had two outfits, and the one in the music pass is secretly a collab with Victoria's Secret. Turns out this dress was what Sabrina wore to kick off her tour, and it's of course a custom design by Victoria's Secret, with a few tweaks to make it, family friendly for Fortnite. Now, one of the most popular DC skins of all time is Harley Quinn, and in Chapter 6, we've got a new version that felt super original. Except, there was a familiar face hiding in this set all along. Harley's back bling is the Bud Pack. Not only is this in the style of a Funko Loungefly backpack, it is actually one of her pet hyenas from the comics, also seen in the Birds of Prey movie. But let's rewind back to Adventure Time for a moment. I showed you the amazing detail in BMO's emote, but that was just one of the secrets you could find here. We were also distracted by the 2D Fortnite on screen that no one looked down. You'll notice that you're sitting on top of a tree stump and it has a face. That's because this is a real character from Adventure Time who is 2 years old for some reason. And if you look even closer, you can spot this tiny snail. He's not here for decoration, he is also a character from the show and appears in pretty much every episode. The animators tried to hide this snail in all kinds of scenarios, and Epic decided to hide him in the emote, continuing the joke years after the show ended. Some details are strangely ads. When Lara Croft returned with the new collab, fans were confused with Fortnite bundling this as the Croft Jeep crossover. They had all three logos in the trailer, and some people thought it was random. But the die-hard fans will know Jeep has been a huge sponsor of Tomb Raider for years, and at one point they designed an entire Lara Croft game just to put a Jeep Wrangler in it. Now, she brought that exact car to Fortnite, and if you look at her back bling, they even shouted out the original design with this adorable little keychain. Now, when I bring up War Machine's arsenal, you would never expect this random weapon to have such an amazing attention to detail. Like when you first pick it up, it looks like this. Very plain and simple, right? Well, when you pick up the turret, there's an animation showing the upgrade. Same thing happens when you grab the jetpack, opening up the thruster flaps on the bottom of your arsenal. And everything becomes complete once you equip the rockets with a tiny unfolding animation that 99% of players would just never spot. And with the Invincible collab, Fortnite decided to shake things up with a free outfit. Duplicate was now available for everybody, which was technically the best way to bring her powers to the game. Now that she was free, lobbies would be filled with players rocking Duplicate, showing off her duplication skills without any mythics needed. It was insanely clever. And that's not the only way that Epic has been 2 steps ahead. With Mortal Kombat, we got an emote to let you test your might. They had this huge power meter on the left, and while it stays the same for almost every outfit, there are a handful of characters that can break everything. Larger skins like the chicken from Family Guy or Thanos won't just snap the llama in two, they'll smash the entire statue to pieces. Now, what if that llama was alive? Well, in Lionel Messi's case, he turned it into a goat. Obviously, everyone calls Messi the GOAT, so it makes sense, but this emote has a secret that can only be unlocked if you look down. You'll notice that you're sitting on top of a tree stump and it has a face. That's because this is a real character from Adventure Time who is 2 years old for some reason. And if you look even closer, you can spot this tiny snail. He's not here for decoration, he is also a character from the show and appears in pretty much every episode. The animators tried to hide this snail in all kinds of scenarios, and Epic decided to hide him in the emote, continuing the joke years after the show ended. Some details are strangely ads. When Lara Croft returned with the new collab, fans were confused with Fortnite bundling this as the Croft Jeep crossover. They had all three logos in the trailer, and some people thought it was random. But the die-hard fans will know Jeep has been a huge sponsor of Tomb Raider for years, and at one point they designed an entire Lara Croft game just to put a Jeep Wrangler in it. Now, she brought that exact car to Fortnite, and if you look at her back bling, they even shouted out the original design with this adorable little keychain. Now, when I bring up War Machine's arsenal, you would never expect this random weapon to have such an amazing attention to detail. Like when you first pick it up, it looks like this. Very plain and simple, right? Well, when you pick up the turret, there's an animation showing the upgrade. Same thing happens when you grab the jetpack, opening up the thruster flaps on the bottom of your arsenal. And everything becomes complete once you equip the rockets with a tiny unfolding animation that 99% of players would just never spot. And with the Invincible collab, Fortnite decided to shake things up with a free outfit. Duplicate was now available for everybody, which was technically the best way to bring her powers to the game. Now that she was free, lobbies would be filled with players rocking Duplicate, showing off her duplication skills without any mythics needed. It was insanely clever. And that's not the only way that Epic has been 2 steps ahead. With Mortal Kombat, we got an emote to let you test your might. They had this huge power meter on the left, and while it stays the same for almost every outfit, there are a handful of characters that can break everything. Larger skins like the chicken from Family Guy or Thanos won't just snap the llama in two, they'll smash the entire statue to pieces. Now, what if that llama was alive? Well, in Lionel Messi's case, he turned it into a goat. Obviously, everyone calls Messi the GOAT, so it makes sense, but this emote has a secret that can only be unlocked if you see it as Leo. Usually, the goat will botch you, but with Messi, he'll celebrate. Now I gotta talk about BMO one more time because he's just so adorable. I've been bringing up his emote a few times, but players were more focused on the fact you could wear him as a back bling. Here, the cuteness really shines. As you're running around, BMO will celebrate after getting eliminations. He is one of the bounciest characters you could equip, and that's because he is just like this in the show. If we're talking about collabs that are truly faithful to their source material, then Mariah Carey is one of the best examples out there. When she came to the game, fans immediately spotted her golden dress. Turns out this dress is the exact same one Mariah wears wears on the album cover for the Emancipation of Mimi. I didn't know this, but it's one of the best-selling albums of the 21st century, and now it's in Fortnite. But that's not all. Her edit style could be considered the deluxe edition of the Fortnite crossover, because as you could probably guess, she is wearing the deluxe version of her outfit. I mean, seriously, you gotta appreciate the details here. Back to the Icon series, we talked about the Spark skin, but the headliner of this collab was Clix himself, and his set is full of secrets, like the toilet paper pickaxe. Seems like a funny joke on the surface, but it goes deeper when you start hitting enemies with it. The more you slam this hammer, you'll realize it uses toilet paper. But as for his back blings, both of these are based on Clix's setup. The bear is always featured in a stream background, and this is obviously his real-life keyboard. Personally, I love Clix's edit style. While most Icon series creators throw a crazy outfit on their skin to look cool, he went and added pajamas. What he wears while streaming, and of course that means he has no shoes. If you prefer crazy costumes, then Sub-Zero has you covered, although I'm more interested in this guy's ice cream cart. This is taken directly from the Mortal Kombat games. They added a new feature decades ago called Friendships, which are less brutal ways to celebrate, and of course one of these is handing out ice creams to your buddy. That's not the only thing they've taken from the games. They also added one of the strangest Easter eggs in Fortnite history. Usually Epic hides stuff like this as an item on the map, not something that pops up on your screen. Left a ton of players confused, but if you're a Mortal Kombat veteran, you already know this is one of the franchise's most famous secrets. Now last year, I don't think any of us expected to wake up and have an entire season invaded by Snoop Dogg. And because this crossover was so huge, Epic went overboard with the references. Like, you know those lowriders that were all over the map? Well, these are 1966 Cadillacs, the exact same car Snoop drives in Gin and Juice. As for his outfits, you can spot Snoop wearing a jersey with the same colors as the LA Lakers, and when you equip the padded version, it would even show the number 24, a heartwarming tribute to Kobe Bryant from Snoop Dogg. He's not the only person he left a shout out for. He's the owner of an after-school team called the Snoop Youth Football League, and of course they will be jaw-dropped when they realized he put them in his Fortnite concert. In fact, on the battle bus, you could even see their initials broadcasted to millions of people. And yet just a few months later, we would have moved on from Snoop and we're now looking up at the giant Godzilla on the map. Let me tell you, Fortnite weren't messing around with this one. He is known for having gigantic scales on his back, and already that's a problem for any game where 90% of cosmetics go on your back. Luckily, they came up with a solution. If you equip any back bling, it'll straight up delete Godzilla's scales. And to truly show how much they love the franchise, Epic left a sneaky reference in the Godzilla quests. They asked you to travel 1954 meters in the air, and I said that weird because obviously it's the same year that the first movie released. Hope you guys enjoyed. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming.
This is a Fortnite account which is worth at least $100,000. And this is a Fortnite account that's worth $1. It basically valuable. Ashton, this is the $50 account. Tell me what I'm looking at here. It doesn't look like he has that many skins.
So he doesn't have any exclusive skins. So the value just comes from the battle pass and item shop ones, which isn't too crazy because they're easy to get.
Yep.
So this account only has a $50 value because it doesn't have much exclusive items and there's not really many skins on it either. But let's get into some more valuable ones.
All right, so this next account is worth $150, and we can already tell it has more skins, and I think I saw Travis Scott as well, which is a very rare item shop skin. Has not come back in over 1,000 days, even more than that now. But is there anything else on this account, Ashton, that stands out to bring its value up?
So this does have a PlayStation skin, the Neo Versa, and some other PlayStation packs. But Travis Scott, although he was only $10 to buy, he actually brings up the value because so many people want him and we don't know if he's ever going to come back or not.
So wait, he also has Chun-Li and Jinx, and I know those are both very highly requested. Just in this area right here, you have Travis Scott, Chun-Li, Jinx. So even though both of the accounts have a similar amount of skins, this one's going to jump up in price because it has a few skins that are very, very highly requested, like the Travis Scott skin, which hasn't been in the shop, Jinx, Chun-Li, and some exclusives like the PlayStation bundle skin as well. But we have a lot more accounts to show, all the way up to over $100,000. So let's see what a more expensive Fortnite account would look like. And now we're jumping up to a $500 Fortnite account. Ashton, let's break this down. What does this guy have that the $150 250 did not have.
So this one's got the Dark Scully Xbox skin.
I don't even have that one. It's still obtainable, right?
Yeah, you can buy you have to buy the Xbox though. There's no codes. Like
Gotcha,
you need
gotcha.
to get the console. Yeah.
All right, so this guy has 600 skins, definitely a lot more than the previous accounts. And we already see a few exclusives, but let's just keep scrolling and seeing what more this account actually has. Let me know if you
The
see
blue
any...
alloy. You need a
Oh,
PlayStation
yes.
5 to get this.
Wait, this guy has PlayStation and Xbox exclusive skins. Bro's cooking. He's got the all black Master Chief. Oh, he has this one as well. The exclusive PlayStation skin. It's the most recent one, which hasn't been in the shop. It can come to the shop, but right now the only way to get that skin is to buy one of the new PlayStations.
But the thing is, Cypher, with this account, it actually has a very desirable edit style, as well as all of these exclusive skins. And this style alone will bring up the value because so many people want it.
Pink Gold Trooper. That's an OG edit style. Very OG. And honestly, you rarely see the pink Gold Trooper. I've seen so many purple Skull Troopers. I've seen a lot of Renegade Raiders. I actually do not see that many pink Gold Troopers running around. It definitely, like, back then when they made like the OG styles, they definitely made them stand out more. I don't know if you've seen the new Renegade Raider and Aerial Assault Trooper, but the new styles for them, they're kind of subtle. They're not that bright and flashy like this. So it makes sense why this account is worth $500. It's a lot of exclusives, a lot of, skins that people really want, and some that you can never get, like this one. So that was an account that was worth $500, but let's double it and see what a Fortnite account that's worth $1,000 looks like. All right, so here we go. He also has Travis Scott, very highly desired Fortnite item shop skin. Black Knight, so he is an OG. Elite Agent Season 3 Battle Pass skin. Galaxy skin. You had to get a Samsung phone for that one. I don't even have that one. I hope they bring that one back, honestly. And then Iconic as well. Already a few exclusives that you kind of really had to get out of your way to get. And Travis Scott, and just like a lot of skins, including OG Battle Pass skins, fully upgraded. For gliders, does he have the Mako glider? He has the Mako glider. I have this one as well. It was part of the Season 1 Battle Pass. It was like a free reward, and it is the rarest, if not one of the rarest gliders in the game.
The reason this account is worth around 1,000 is mainly because of the Galaxy, Iconic. Those are phone skins, plus the OG Battle Pass skins, such as Black Knight, which are very desirable.
Now we're going to step it up to an account that is worth $3,000 to $5,000. Let's check it out. This one apparently is worth $3,000 to $5,000. Seems like there's a lot of different skins, a lot of different icons, but I'm wondering which skin or skins really up the value of this account. Not seeing anything stand out yet. I mean, there's a lot of Battle Pass skins, a lot of icon skins. John Wick. Oh, there it is. The double helix Fortnite skin. So this one skin right now, if you wanted to get it, you probably couldn't. And if you wanted to, you'd have to spend anywhere between $3,000 to $10,000 to get either the Nintendo Switch, which has the code unused. That's going to run you about $10,000. And actually, just recently, somebody put a code for the double helix on eBay. And I thought about buying it. And I bid at $3,000. And people kept outbidding me until my max bid was $4,500. I did not want to go over that. And I couldn't get it. Someone paid even more for this skin. So this one skin brings up the value of this account to the 3 to 5K range.
So this account wasn't looking too strong. Battle Pass skins, item shop skins, but the double helix is really where all of the value is.
One step higher, this account is worth anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000. Let's check it out. Immediately, I see the Dark Vertex, which, Ashton, tell me again how much Dark Vertex codes go for these days.
To get the Dark Vertex skin, pickaxe, and glider, you have to pay minimum $1,000.
All right, so that's already like $1,000 right off the bat. Thankfully, somebody out there actually gifted me a code, an extra one they had, and they refused to take any money for it as well. He does have the Purple Scully as well, which you have to buy a full console for. So that's already 2 heavy hitters. A lot of the DC skins, just a lot of skins in general on this account. I see Chun-Li, which is also rare. I see the unique edit style, the PlayStation edit style for Alloy. 1,500 plus skins. So just the sheer volume in itself is going to make this account worth a lot. But you also have some rare edit styles. He has the Psycho Bandit, which we said, you probably have to pay over $500 for. We have the Master Chief in matte black, which you need to have a exclusive console just to get that. That actually was a limited time offer until Master Chief came back, and now you can still get him, but you still need the console for it. Oh, this skin right here. This one was the most recent Galaxy skin, right?
Yeah, she's actually not came out yet, so that instantly brings the value up of this account until she does re-release.
Got you. I don't have her because you had to have a Samsung logged in on Fortnite like within a certain time period. A lot of people miss out on that. And this is the exclusive PlayStation one. And I noticed that he also has the rare emoji on the back of all these skins that he's showing, the little panda. But the back bling, that emoji that we see, that's part of like a promotion that like some streamers got some codes to give out to their audience, and it was like limited, like 2,000 to 3,000 codes can be used.
Eon skin, this is $500 minimum if you want to get it right now. It has a bunch of Fortnite crew skins as well, which would technically bring up the value as you have to pay every month just to get those skins.
Yep. Can those skins come to the shop?
They can come back for crew members.
Gotcha.
But I don't know about the shop.
There's the exclusive PlayStation skin as well. So basically at this price point, just the sheer amount of skins that this person has is going to be driving up the value of the account. And you top that off with some exclusives, some OG skins, and some skins that you just have to pay to get, which is really going to drive the value even more. We have the Wildcat skin as well on top of that.
Yeah, so he's got so many exclusive skins, so many rare ones, console ones which cost 1,000 each, such as the Wildcat, Eon, Dark Vertex. So this account definitely $5,000 to $8,000 range right here.
All right, our next account was actually worth over $10,000, and it's submitted by Relish right off the bat. This guy has a bunch of exclusives. He also has 1,800 skins, so 300 more skins than the previous account, which is just going to naturally drive the value of this account up. All right, so let's take a look and see what rare skins and exclusives this guy has. Chun-Li hasn't been in the shop since she released. He has the rare edit style for the skull. Did it not come back to the shop?
Yeah, these styles were limited time, should never come back from live events.
Got you. Wildcat, Nintendo Switch exclusive. Psycho Bandit, the Paradigm with the rare edit style, right? So they accidentally released this skin back in the shop like last month or 2 months ago, and they promised an edit style for people who had her OG. So he has her OG. There's the rare edit style. Is that another World Cup edit style?
The World
for
Cup fish stick.
Yep.
Yeah, this should never come back. Unless there's a World Cup 2, then maybe, but...
Yeah, then it's never coming back. There's not going to be a World Cup 2.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, but I do see the double helix Nintendo Switch skin right here. We said that it's probably going to run you close to $4,000 if you just want to get the skin itself. If you want to get the actual Switch with the skin, it's going to be like $10,000. Maximilian is also rare. It's an item shop skin that hasn't been in the shop for a while. And then he has a fully upgraded Omega, all the lights. All right, so he has the $4,000 plus double helix skin, a bunch of exclusives, and just 1,800 plus skins, which is a massive amount of skins. That alone is why this account is valued at $10,000. But believe it or not, guys, there are accounts that are valued higher. So let's get to the next account. All right, so this next account is between $15,000 to $20,000. It also has over 1,800 skins and a bunch of exclusives, but it does have something that the previous account did not have. So already we see the double helix right off the bat, $4,000+ skin. Just every skin nearly with 1,800 plus skins. The Dark Scully, that's gonna be an Xbox exclusive. Alloy, PlayStation exclusive edit style. Psycho Bandit hasn't been back in the shop. You'd have to pay $500 for him. Blue Striker, PlayStation exclusive. Cobalt, another PlayStation exclusive. And he has Dark Vertex and Double Helix. So both very expensive skins. And Eon. This guy is stacked. Machinus Mina, I don't have her. These are all just very, very rare Xbox, Switch, and PlayStation exclusives on top of everything else. On top of the fact that he has 1,800 skins. That's crazy.
So he has a lot of rare stuff, a lot of exclusive skins, over 1,800 skins, but there's one item in this locker which really brings up the value compared to the other ones. And it's the Cameo Needs Loot emoticon because there was only 30 codes made for this. An item only 30 people can have is insanely valuable.
That is crazy. And even that zombie dance is rare, right? Zombie Shambles was only in the shop for like a day.
Zombie Shambles, 24 hours in the shop and never returned.
I never got that one. That's one I didn't get. And Cameo needs loot. 30 people in the world have this. That's it. That is going to be super rare. One of the rarest, if not the rarest things you can have on a Fortnite account. Actually, there is something rare. So stay tuned. Bro, I don't even know. How can we get even more expensive than this? Let's find out. All right. So next up, we are jumping to a $50,000 Fortnite account. And it's actually my account. So right off the bat, you know, we saw 1,800 skins, but my account has nearly 2,000 skins, 1986. What is the actual maximum amount of skins that are in Fortnite right now?
There's over 2,000 skins in the game right now, but it changes every day.
We have a lot. We have a lot of skins. We have some desirable skins here. Like I do have my PlayStation account hooked up, so I got the edit style. I have Jinx and Vi, who have been highly requested by League of Legends fans. You know, I got the Street Fighter skins, Chun-Li. I do have the unique edit styles as well for some of these skins, like the armored Kratos for PlayStation exclusive, fully gold Lara Croft.
So having this many skins, almost 2,000, means your locker is more complete compared to other ones we've just shown, which is what drives the value up. And you have every battle pass, right?
I have every battle pass fully unlocked. I'm only missing one edit style for battle pass, and that's just the Golden Peely isn't fully gold. He's like 60% gold, but that's it. Everything else is fully unlocked. All the rare styles.
That brings up the value for sure, having every battle pass. You have got a skin, Cypher, that's considered blacklisted, what a lot of people wish they had, but it might never come back.
Are we talking about Rue?
Yes.
So I do have Rue. She is most
she's
likely never coming back.
Very desirable skin. In my opinion, I think a lot of people would like her to come back.
Now, I also have, so like I said earlier, I do have a skin that is just not ever going to be in the shop because it's unreleased. So I have double skins here. I have Sideline Commander, which has been in the shop, but then I have Striped Soldier, who was never released. They added these skins to only like 100 creators' accounts leading up to the Streamer Bowl. And actually, most of them it wasn't even added to their accounts. It was added onto like tournament accounts that were only used for the Streamer Bowl, and they look pretty much identical, like side to side. It's very, very like subtle like texture difference, but it's pretty much the same skin. And I just have double of them because, you know, Fortnite decided not to release these when they gave them to us.
They're literally two of the rare skins to ever be in the game, like literally.
Yeah. Now, obviously, I have some exclusives. I have some bundle skins. I have Eon. I have all the OG battle passes, Dark Vertex. I have Skull Trooper purple style.
The purple Skull Trooper is kind of a big deal because, you know, you could only get it if you bought him in Chapter 1 Season 1 and where the player count was a lot lower. So, yeah, this style is very rare and very desirable because it stands out a lot compared to the normal Skull Trooper.
Besides the sheer amount of skins that I have, right? Obviously, we have the skins, but we also buy everything in the shop. So we have nearly 2,000 emotes, emojis, 764 weapon wraps, 1,433 pickaxes.
That's almost every pickaxe in the game, by the way.
Let's take a look at the back blings. We've got 1,718 back blings. And so I want to show you guys, even though I haven't played Lego in a while, I do have every single Lego kit. Look at this. I literally bought them all. So 159 Lego kits. Like,
this brings up the value even more because even though a lot of the other lockers had so many skins and exclusives, I don't think they have all the Lego sets, the cars, the wraps, and just everything. Like, you buy everything, so that brings up the value than any locker we've seen so far.
All right, guys, but that's not it, guys, because there's accounts that are worth even more. So next up, we got
walking with that heater. Look around, stay low, make sure they don't see me. Catch some bad, walk down, face 'em with that heater. The devil under your feet, you on your way to see me. Right foot creep, ooh, walking with